Question before the House is the adoption of the committee amendment. The chair recognizes the member from Derry, Representative Manuse, to speak on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members of the House. It should be quite clear to us that voters in November rejected the way Congress passed the so-called Obamacare bill against the will of the people. They sent us here to do something about that. They still want us to do something about that. A UNH poll showed 55 to 35% opposed to this bill. If we do nothing, this Obamacare system will have the consequences of engulfing private health insurance markets and creating a single-payer system with the federal government in charge. With the federal government's record of running Social Security and Medicare into the ground, we don't want to take the risk of giving that same government management of 1/6 of our economy. By law, Obamacare will force individuals to buy health insurance against their will on January 1st, 2014. It will also create anti-competitive price controls, which always drives up the cost of the product being controlled every single time it's tried. This is outrageous. Outrageous. We don't want to do anything, not anything, that will allow this federal law to plant its poisonous seeds in our state. Sending Obamacare dollars back to Washington is essential to prevent those seeds from being planted. We don't want a health care bureaucracy. We don't want federal or state control over the private market. That will have consequences. Finally, I hope it's clear that we must direct the Attorney General to join the lawsuit that has declared this abomination unconstitutional. While our Constitution indeed requires our three branches of government to operate separately from one another, our Constitution also explains how each branch ought to interact with one another. It is quite clear that the legislature sets policy and the executive enforces that policy. If we have authority to set the terms of the Attorney General's office or to end it, and we do, we certainly have the authority to set his priorities. I would say it is our obligation to do that. I will not be taking questions, but before I sit down, I want to leave you with this. The people don't want this federal takeover of our health care. They don't want it. If we do nothing, this system will have consequences.